And we're live. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. Wondering, you know what? I'm not sure how the sound is because I just come back and I'm just realizing that I'm not hearing myself all that well. Okay, here we go. There we go. Yeah. So today I just gotten back from vacation. I've been in Acapulco, sunny Acapulco, and I came back from Miami, and I'm finally back in the office here with Inti. Say hi to everyone, Inti.
Hello, everyone.
And yes, we're gonna be today. We're gonna do little things a little different. We're not gonna go to the charts and show you price action like we normally do. And the reason why is because in my travels in Acapulco and Miami, I met a lot of cool people, and I really appreciated talking to everybody that wanted to speak to me. And there were there were a lot of my YouTube subscribers, and I noticed one reoccurring theme. A lot of my YouTube subscribers that met me didn't know the basics of Bitcoin, and that quite surprised me. But it shouldn't be such a surprise because there's not a lot of people talking about just the basics of how Bitcoin works and why it works, like and why it exists, how it works, and why do people want it, basically. And so today's video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. Oh, I got some new books, and yeah, they fell over here. Right, we'll talk about those books at a later time, maybe tomorrow. But we're going to be talking about Bitcoin and its personal responsibility, because that's a key thing about Bitcoin is that it requires personal responsibility, and a lot of us did not learn that in school, and that's not by accident. If you check out the video that I have linked in the description below, I have a video from Robert Kiyosaki, and I think you should check it out. Here, I'm going to show you guys the video. I'm not going to show the whole. I'm not going to show the video actually because I don't want a copyright strike. I already have one, so I don't need another one. But anyways, here is the video, and you can find the link in the description below. And what I noticed, if you watch the first little while, Robert Kiyosaki at 9 years old, he was asking the simple question of why and why. And when they got an answer, he'd ask why again. And when he got an answer, he got asked why again. So I would like everybody in this channel that's watching this video today to come up with some questions, basic questions, really simple questions. Nothing's too dumb or silly to talk about because I want to explain as much as I can about Bitcoin, and basically have my staff also come in and talk about it as well and ask questions as well. So today, let's start off with the starting point is, why does Bitcoin exist in the first place? I mean, Jesus, well, like, we already have digital money, right? I can go to the grocery stores, take out my credit card. Now I can just tap it on the machine, and away I go. I have digital money. Like, what do I need Bitcoin for, right? That's for most of us around the world. Well, not most of us actually. For about less than a third of the planet, right? That Bitcoin has really no use, right? Because I mean, we have our financial system that seems to work pretty well, but that is not 100% true. Now, the reason why Satoshi invented Bitcoin is because I don't know if you were here when we had the 2008 collapse, but what happened was all your banks, everything was insolvent. They didn't have any money. They stole your money. They've gambled it away, and basically, there was no money left in the banks, and they were all going to have to close, and so they were going to have to shut down and take all your money. And I noticed a super chat. I want to say I want to say hi to that person, Super Google Lee. Okay, hi Super Google Lee. Hi Davinci. I hope you're doing fine. If I only have one Bitcoin now, would the little old lady strategy still make me rich in 10 years? Um, well, the little age, I can't say for sure, it will make you rich because, of course, it all depends on how hard you work on the little lady strategy. Nothing comes for free, and so yeah, that's all I can tell you is that if you work hard, you will do very well with the little old lady strategy, and that's all. That's with basically anything. Anyways, going back to why Bitcoin is here. Well, you see, back in 2008, when the banks were all were insolvent, what happened was the governments decided to just print a bunch of money and give it to the banks. So now, the CEOs and so forth, they got their bonuses because, well, they crashed the system, they lost the money, and then they got it all back from the government. So effectively, that is profit on their bottom line. So right? They need to put gas in their jet, right? so so that this is effectively stealing wealth from everybody who has dollars, right? And so this was totally unfair and seen by Satoshi, and he wrote in the first block of the Bitcoin blockchain about how another bank was getting a bailout. And so that is the essence of why Bitcoin came into existence. This is our system is unfair, right? When the banks and wealthy people make mistakes, they get bailed out, right? Because can't have that, right? They need to be able to fly around in their private jets, right? Can't have that. Can't have them know out their private jets. So, anyways, yeah, this is not fair to the poor and the middle class, because what that does is robs wealth from them and gives it to those super rich who are constantly making mistakes. And it's normal for businessmen to make mistakes even at the top and then lose that money. But when they have the option of never losing through the printing press, that's not right, and that's why Bitcoin came to be. Bitcoin has a fixed supply so that no one can print more and bail somebody out. Bitcoin basically it allows people to transfer the wealth quickly across the world without somebody saying, well, hey, you know what, I'm the rich guy here, and I know you're going to try to steal my money, so I'm going to call the government up, and I'm going to tell them to block that person, right? And I mean, you've seen this or before, right? Let's just say, have you seen the movie Pretty Woman? I'm sure most of you have. Basically, in that movie, the protagonist, right, was a very wealthy person who was breaking up businesses, and one of the things he did was he blocked contracts from the government to a business that he wanted to buy, and then he also had access to the bank to call the bank and block any money movement to that particular business. Now, as you can see, right, back in the days, right, we all thought, oh, well, that's fair, right, and that's normal, right? But no, it's not, right? And so with Bitcoin, we stop all of that from happening because you take personal direct responsibility of your own money, and no one can stop you, block you, or prevent you from doing what you need to do in order to survive or to create a business and thrive. And that's the reason why Bitcoin came to be. And now, some people might think, well, wait a second. What is Bitcoin? Is it physical? Can I hold it in my hand? Sorry, my mouth is a little dry here. I'm gonna drink some of this. I got this diet stuff that I'm trying to work on, right, to lose some weight here. But I think it's really drying out my throat. So maybe I can get Inti to get me a glass of water. Actually, if you don't mind, right, Inti?
No, of course not.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So yes, what going back to what I was saying, right? Money, right, needs to be fair, basically. And what was I talking about? I was talking about how I finished off talking about the Pretty Woman movie, and how that person was like stealing, was like controlling other people's wealth and stuff like that. Yes, and then right. Okay, so Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? Yes. Is it a physical asset? Because most people think of things in physical terms, right? And that's understandable, right? Because well, as we grew up as an intelligent civilization, we tried many things as money, and it was always a physical asset. And For example, seashells. We've had salt. We've had silver, gold. We've had all these different physical assets, and they weren't always as money, but they became to be money over time because people had saw value in them. Thank you, Inti. Appreciate that. And as it became money, right? We understood money as a physical asset because we could like hide it, we could store it, and we could trade it directly. And because we were mostly trading with people in our local area, we understood money as something physical and not something that can be like a concept. But money is a concept, like a digital asset or something that can't be held in your hand. Basically, we never really thought of money as something that can't be held in your hand. But money is just a concept. It's like, for example, a dog can't really conceptualize money, that hey, you know what, if I hold something that I do not use to eat, to live off of, to use in any form, but I trade it to somebody to get food, right? They can't really understand that. Now, I did see somebody show me a picture of a dog paying for food with a leaf, but yeah, for the most part, um, dogs can't conceptualize that in their heads, and that's what it is. It's basically a concept, right? Of hey, you know what? I am going to use something that I'm not going to use for anything else but to trade with somebody else. And the reason why I want to use that to trade is because not only everybody understands it as value, they also understand that over time it will hold its value. I can convert something that does not hold its value over time, or something that can spoil, something that can um, basically not last a long time, right? Or be damaged or something like that. And I can build that thing that somebody else can use for now, and then take another asset, something which we call money, and store that. And I could store my wealth, and that I could trade it later on for something that spoils or goes bad over time. And so that's the concept of money, and Bitcoin embodies that beautifully, um, because it has a limited supply, and no one can increase that supply. That's a key thing about Bitcoin, that also drives demand towards it. And I noticed a couple of super chats, but I'm gonna have to get back to those in a bit. I'm gonna finish off what I'm saying, and then we'll get back to your super chats. But anyways, and so this is where Bitcoin has its power, right? Is that you can now have a conceptual item that cannot be taken away from you. That cannot be that can be stolen, of course, but but not by a group, not by a group of people who decide, you know what, remotely to steal it from you from with the press of a button, or a group of people. Because right now, our governments can like press a button and take all of our money from our bank accounts, and that'll be that. That's how simple our system is. And so with Bitcoin, that can never happen. And that's some of the great advantages of Bitcoin, owning Bitcoin. Now, the problem is, right? It's is that Bitcoin requires a little bit more effort from the individuals, effort that you were never taught in school, effort that you were that was avoided because they don't want people to be intelligent with money and understand how money works, because the wealthy people want just workers, people who just want to get a paycheck and done. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you still have to take a little bit of responsibility and not look towards others to guarantee you a paycheck and guarantee you a retirement in the future. You must take responsibility for yourself. And with Bitcoin, you have to do the exact same. You have to store your private keys. You have to take multiple copies of your private keys and store them somewhere so that you don't lose that money. The sad thing is that most of you who watch this video are probably not going to make a lot of money from Bitcoin. There should be no reason that any of you that are watching this for the first time or learning about Bitcoin for the first time should not make a lot of money, especially if Bitcoin goes to over 100,000, which I really think it will. But that's just the case because most of us did not learn how to manage money and how to manage wealth in school. I didn't learn it either, and I had to learn it over time, and it took me a long time, and I made a lot of mistakes along the way. And so I expect most of you watching this video to make the same mistakes I've did. Buy the top and sell the bottom, and not save and so forth. But over time, I learned how to save. I learned how to reinvest, and that's the key things you need to learn. But we're not going to talk about that in today's video. We just want to answer basic questions about Bitcoin. And I want to finish up before I go into asking. I want to ask some of my employees some questions. I want to see if they have any questions about Bitcoin actually, and then I'm going to ask you guys see if you have any basic questions about Bitcoins. And if you do, please leave the message so that Inti can pick that up and answer that, and we can later on answer those questions. The final part is that I want to talk about Bitcoin is that how does it work and why do people want it? Well, I mean, I can go into all the technical details about Bitcoin, and you know what? Honestly, I really feel it's irrelevant. If you want to learn more about the technical details, please check out Andreas Antonopoulos. I have a few videos here and there, and there are videos on the mining and stuff like that. But just know that it works. And with that, the reason why people want it is because it works. And well, you know what? It has a 21 million cap. That's most of it's been lost. It's going to increase in value, and that's how money should work. If I work hard today, save my money, it should go up in value, not down. And that's the basics of it, right? I'm going to work hard today, earn money, and then save that money, and then be able to then live well in the future without taking any risks beyond managing my own private keys, making sure nobody tries to rob me of that money by enticing me into a scam, by also trading the money. Oh no, sorry. I'm gonna take another glass of water. Hang on. Excuse me. Yeah, that felt good. Another way of losing money is like going on to different exchanges and trying to trade when you have no idea how to trade. You should pretty much ignore anything I have to say when it comes to my trades that I'm doing, right? Or that I suggest to do. You should not be trading at all. Unless you trained to trade, do not trade. Because it requires a lot of personal discipline that most of us just don't have, and you need training on that. Like any other like effort, work, kind of like thing that you do, like being a doctor, lawyer, or any kind of job, basically, you need to be trained to do that job very well. And the same applies for trading. So don't go out there and try to trade and try to bet the markets and try to time the markets. That's not going to happen. The best thing to do, right, is the little old lady strategy, because it's not trading. It's actually it's investing over a long time, and and so that's a much better way of looking at things. Now, investing does come with its risk, right? So you have to understand the risks of investing, and so there is a little bit more. You still have to do a little bit of education on investing, but it's a less riskier than trying to trade. And yeah, is Bitcoin an investment? You could say yes, it is an investment, but I really think that this particular investment, has some serious strength, and it will go higher in value over time. That's what its objective is, to be money, and because it wants to be money, it has to have a higher value than it currently is today, before it actually can be a day-to-day monetary unit that you can trade between other people. All right, so with that said, first I'm going to start off with answering the what's it called, the questions here on the super chat, and then we're going to go on to asking the questions from my employees that are going to be coming in here soon, hopefully. Right, you can come on in, guys. Right. All right, so don't get all nervous here, right? You guys look all scared and nervous. Just stand over there. I'm gonna.
Stay in this area.
All right, so here we go. So I'm gonna just move this over here, and we're here. We have Luis. Say hi, Luis.
Hello.
He's from Venezuela.
Hello.
Right, and we have Carolina. Right.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So hi. So everyone, you know Carolina. Why don't you stand back a little bit, right there? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. There we go. There we go.
Put the mics too close
there
to
you
the
go.
mouth because it's really powerful. Oh, okay.
All right, so I know I said I was going to get to the super chat questions, but I'm going to ask these guys if you have any questions for me about Bitcoin. So, what do you guys have for questions? If you have anything about Bitcoins, basic questions people
I
can
have one.
learn.
What happens if I lose my wallet password? Can I get my Bitcoin back?
Well, that's a good question, right? Most people don't understand that Bitcoin is not like your bank. If you lose your password, right, on your online account, you could actually call the bank up and they'll replace it. But not with Bitcoin. There is no company. Once you lose your Bitcoin, your password, the Bitcoins are still there. It's just nobody can access it because you don't have the keys and nobody else does. And so that's what also makes it that much more powerful. Any more questions, guys?
So why is Bitcoin censorship resistant?
Oh, good question. Why is Bitcoin censorship resistant? Well, just like the fact that you can't get somebody's keys. Like, let's just say somebody loses their keys and they want to get the Bitcoin back. They can't get those Bitcoins. So the government can't get your Bitcoins. That means, and also, Bitcoin allows you to transfer your wealth to another person without a third party, meaning there's nobody in between you sending the Bitcoin to somebody else. And so there's nobody there to call up the bank and say, hey, wait a minute, I don't want that guy to transfer that money over there. So can you stop that? No, that can never happen. And that's what makes Bitcoin censorship resistant. All right, next question, guys.
Okay. When I do a transfer, I always see the transaction. I always say something about fees. What about it? Do I am paying to a bank or something like that?
That's a good question, right? Where do the fees goes, and who gets those fees? I mean, well, the fees goes to the miner, and miners are without getting to any technical details, they're basically people that make sure, and you could become a miner exactly as well. They're just people who make sure that all the transactions are fair and honest, and nothing can be changed or messed with on the public ledger. Those fees help help keep your money censorship resistant and prevent others from stealing it. So that's the key thing about paying those small fees, and they're usually like in the pennies, and they will probably remain so for a long time. All right, Inti, do you have any questions?
Yeah, of course. Let's see. I have it on a paper.
Okay.
Okay. Can I call some entity if I get robbed or scammed with Bitcoin?
Yeah, there's true. There's like I've said before, right? We cannot call anybody if you were scammed or robbed with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is about your personal responsibility. You need to manage how to protect your Bitcoins. You need to manage how to prevent loss of your Bitcoins. You have to do it all. And yeah, that's not something that we're used to. But with a little bit of time and a little bit of training. So, for example, it's best that you start off with a small amount. If you have no Bitcoins right now, you should just transfer a small, like $10, $100, $50, something that you're okay with losing. And then meet up with somebody to transfer Bitcoins to that other person so you can see how that process works. You could always do it to yourself, of course. You could just create another wallet on a wallet on your phone and a wallet on your computer, and then transfer the Bitcoins back and forth between your computer and your phone and see how that works for yourself. So you can start there in a simple and easy manner, and that's where you can start to learn how this thing works, and then you'll start to realize how simple and easy it is. The key thing you have to remember is to have backups of your wallets. That's a key thing. And you should always check those backups. So, for example, one of the things you should do is when you create a wallet is create the backup, write down the backup free seed phrase, destroy the wallet, and recreate it again to make sure that you can actually do that and you understand the process of recreating the wallet. Just assuming that it works is the worst thing you could possibly do, because you might have written down the words wrong. You might have you might have entered it incorrectly and not understood that, hey, you need to place this thing in order, all the words in order. All those things that you that could go wrong, you'll learn without losing a lot of money. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong when you're playing with Bitcoin. So please just do some basic studying on how Bitcoin works. All right, guys. Well, thank you. If you have any more questions, I could definitely like to answer.
I have. So I would like to know, or I've read about it, but I want you to explain it like in a very easy way. Why is Bitcoin considered to be deflationary?
Why is Bitcoin considered to be deflationary? What is deflation? Basically, there's two definitions of deflation, actually. When we say inflation and deflation, right? Inflation, what most people think about is prices going up, but the truth is, the matter is, prices is just an effect of inflation. It literally, like if you that's the little definition of inflation is increasing of the money supply. And so in the opposite direction, of course, deflation is the decrease of the money supply. And because you're saying, well, how is Bitcoin deflationary when the miners are still producing more Bitcoins? And well, there's a hard cap on the Bitcoin where there's not going to be any more. And anytime somebody loses Bitcoins, that actually takes away from the supply. Now, it's not a problem for Bitcoin because it's a digital asset and it could be divided infinitely. That's a concept that's a little bit confusing to understand, right? I've spent hours trying to discuss that with the staff of divisibility, and so I understand that you might not understand the concept, but basically all you need to know is that you can divide Bitcoins into smaller and smaller and ever smaller units forever and ever. It's just basically a software update to do so. And it doesn't change anything about Bitcoin. It doesn't increase the number supply ever. It just makes the units very, very tiny. And that's always the government's excuse. Well, there's not enough money. And when we were on a gold standard, that was true. because you can only divide gold so much, right? But now with digital assets, we could divide it forever, and it really doesn't really matter because we don't need to have like an atom of gold. Like, we can't divide a gold bar into an atom, right? That's just not possible, right? That's the key thing about Bitcoin and deflationary. So I noticed that when you mentioned that question, I wanted to talk about one little thing. Inflation, right? Even though we say okay, well, it's just prices increasing. One of the things that the founding fathers said to do is they said they will always keep you looking at is prices when they create paper money, because they will try to keep you saying, oh, well, look, the prices are not going up, so that means there's no inflation. But in effect, I realized that our inflation rate has been on average 30%. Our money supply has increased by 30% every year, but prices have not gone up. So where does all this money go? Well, it's really simple. If I were to drop $1 million on everybody, and nobody spent it because everybody was afraid that that hey, you know what? If I spent this money, I won't have money in the future. Everybody believed that. No prices would increase. They'd only spend what they need as they need it. Right, and so that's effectively how all this money, this 30% a year, has gone to people who, oh well, I'm afraid of money, so I'm going to save this, or they gamble it in different ways in order to increase their wealth, and that's stuck inside of a casino of gambling to increase their wealth, and that's where most of the money is right now that they've constantly print every single day. All right, any other questions, guys?
I mean, it's Bitcoin. You could just keep on going, I guess.
Yeah.
But
All right.
We're gonna be
Give your
the whole
viewers-
day here.
Yes,
Exactly. Exactly. I know there's a lot to hear. Well, thank you guys for coming into the video. Right, I'm going to go over the super chats because there's a lot of super chats, and I'm going to
Bye, guys.
answer the question.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So let's start off with the first super chat that I missed was Julio U for $2. Thank you very much. Why 21 million? Feb, what's it? 9th of Feb? Okay, number is 9 and special number. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but anyways, let me answer the question of why 21 million bitcoins. Well, it wasn't really 21 million. He just started, and he wasn't planning on using that number. It works out that way. Basically, he decided on 50 bitcoins as a reward for mining the bitcoins, and then if you and then every 10 minutes that reward would be released, and then every 4 years it get cut in half. And by doing a little bit of math, you could see that 21 million would be the maximum supply. It'd just be less than 21 million. It'll never actually get to 21 million. And of course, that all gets quite a bit of those bitcoins have been lost over through time. All right, next question is the only thing that prevents me from going all in is quantum computer. Okay. You know what? There's a lot of technical problems with quantum computer doing damage to cryptocurrencies and encryption, right? There's a lot of issues with that. One, they need to have a system in order that can actually do this, right? Right now they say that they can, but no, they have to build it in such a way that it can do so. Then on top of that, they have to write a program to do it, to break the encryption. And once they do that, will require somebody that will require these supercomputers, these quantum computers, to exist en masse for somebody to actually decide to do something like that. And because they require what's it called, freezing, moving atoms to absolute zero, that's a long way off from here, right? So because you need to make atoms at absolute zero, and then we have to make that publicly available to everybody. Yeah, right. We got a long way off before we can do that. And then you don't have to worry about it. Bitcoin was designed with the knowledge that encryption can and will get broken one day. Absolutely, right? Satoshi understood that, and he designed Bitcoin in such a way so that it can be upgraded for with a new encryption model to prevent hacking. So you don't have to worry about that. You might have to worry about an asteroid hitting the planet before that happens. Alrighty. When do you think the SEC will decide if XRP is a security or not? Okay, you know what? If not a security, do you think the price will jump to 8 all-time highs? Thank you from Germany. You know what? XRP will do well because it's basically another currency, fiat currency, basically that pretends to be decentralized when it's not. It supports the banking system, and that's why they are looking into it and planning to use it. And I think if they use it in the banking system, it will be very successful. So I suggest you have some, and hopefully people won't use it, but I doubt that. And I'll leave it at that. So as for the whether or not it's a security, I think they have enough money to. Even if the SEC decides it's a security, the SEC, you have to understand what the SEC is. It's just a shakedown, right? To not let you in the club. And then if you pay them the shakedown money, they will let you in and say, okay, fine, you're a security, but you paid your dues. We're not gonna close this system, and that's that. So you don't have to worry about the SEC at all, and they have enough money to pay off the SEC. So even if they rule against them. All right. Hey, Davinci, check out Bancor, BNT. They are launching the inflationary mechanism in Q2. Okay. Uniswap is a fork of it. Keep up the great content. Thank you very much, Danielle. Really appreciate that. I have some BNT, I think. I'm not sure because I've been moving a lot of cryptocurrencies around. Some I had to sell, and then I couldn't buy them on the other exchanges and so forth. So I don't know. Well, I don't think an inflationary mechanism is a good idea, but it still will work because it's a digital currency. And as long as the inflation is, what's it called, known to everyone and is fixed, it's not that big of a deal. If this currency works for you, right? I think we should always never say, well, you know what, inflation sucks, and we should never ever use that ever again because it steals wealth, right? That cuts off future possibilities, and if we cut off future possibilities of things, will prevent us from growing as people, and we can't allow our prejudice. If you decide that you don't like inflationary currencies, that's fine. Don't touch them. But I don't think we should outlaw them. I don't think we should make them illegal. Just allow people to decide whether or not they should use those things or not, and we'll let the market decide and move it from there. All right, Rodolph Nane. Your little lady strategy. Well, you know what? Actually, I want to correct you. That it's not my little lady strategy. It is Brian Beamish from the Rational Investor. He came up with the name of the strategy, and it is his strategy. So keep that in mind. All right. So your little, as you were saying here, is mostly to gain more value in BTC in the long run. Yes, because I believe in Bitcoin as currency, and so I treat it as such. And whether you do so, you could actually go with dollars, and that's fine. But you can still use the little lady strategy using dollars or your local currency, which is, I don't know, HUF here. Besides your short-term BTC trades, do you apply long-term BTC fiat strategies? No, I don't look at money in the terms of dollars anymore. I look at it in terms of gold or Bitcoin. Now, with that said, because Bitcoin is not priced in gold, I have to look at it in dollars. All right. So, is there any more
There is more
super
questions, but
chats?
not super chats.
Okay. So, alrighty. So, with that said, let's head over to the questions that everybody has been waiting for me to answer. Do you have some questions there?
Yes. Let's see. This is from. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. This is from David Hardy and ask: Is it profitable to mine Bitcoin right now, or should they wait, or the time just passed? It's not profitable anymore.
Mining Bitcoin. Well, you have to be careful when it comes to mining Bitcoin because there's a lot of competitiveness in the mining industry. You really have to plan out your strategy for mining, and the best way to plan out any kind of strategy with mining is to use debt because if you can get a loan at 4% or less, you are actually going to be one getting a negative rate based on the inflation, the real inflation, which is at running at 10%. I mean, prices are on average going up at 10% per year in dollars. And two, you need to also plan when to spend that money and when's the top of Bitcoin. And you don't have to plan the top really. You just need to like plan it so that you can pay off your debts with your Bitcoin that you saved up using the mining process, right? So as long as you use debt and you to cover your expenses both for the equipment, the electricity, and then wait for Bitcoin to increase more than 10% per year, obviously. Obviously, uh, you're going to be in the red. I mean, in the black. Sorry, in the black with mining. But if you don't do it any other way, if you try to mine right now with your own money, you're better off just buying Bitcoin. Basically, you're just way better off than using than if you're not going to use debt. All right, next question.
Okay, next question. You have a super chat now.
Okay, let's see here. What do you think of the Dero coin? I don't know what that is. Actually, sorry. I've never heard of that coin. So
I save it if you do another altcoin video.
exactly. Maybe I'll look into it in an altcoin video. All right, next question.
This is from Jose Carlos Bonilla. This is a really good question. He says, I think the most important question is why Bitcoin and no Ethereum or other?
Yeah, why Bitcoin and not Ethereum or others? Let's start off with the fact that the one is the first mover advantage. Two, there's a large developer community making sure that Bitcoin continues to grow and succeed. And three, Bitcoin has a development mentality of not breaking previous clients, meaning that what that means is if you downloaded the oldest version of the Bitcoin software, it will still work today. You'll still be able to send and receive Bitcoins today, even though a lot of changes have taken place in the Bitcoin code. That is a key effort of the developer community for Bitcoin. Ethereum cannot do it that way because what they are doing is something that's more is super complex and more advanced than what Bitcoin can do, and because of that, they can have severe bugs. Bitcoin, because it's very simplified, cannot have those huge bugs which could cause a catastrophic failure, whilst Ethereum can. And this is a good thing for Ethereum, even though whenever they upgrade, they have to break. Everybody has to upgrade at the same time. This is good in a sense that one day Ethereum will be finished, and there will be no more upgrades to the Ethereum code. And then that actually can be moved into not maybe if maybe not into Bitcoin, but into another asset class that would allow for the power of Bitcoin and the power of Ethereum all at the same time. That would be huge. But only when, Ethereum has gotten to an ossification where, hey, you know what, there's no more changes made to this thing. It's perfect the way it is, and there's no other flaws that could possibly come through. That will take a long, long time, many, many years before that happens. So, as for other cryptocurrencies, why not, Dash? Why not? My favorite, and why not Zcash? Why not Mimblewimble? Well, a lot of these are experimental and early, but the ones that are starting to grow, they can take the lead on Bitcoin, but that will be up to you, basically. If a cryptocurrency works for you in a sense that you can use it to accomplish something else, because that's what money is just the means of accomplishing something else, then you should use it. And by your use, you actually give it power, and you show people how you use it. Other people will then go ahead and use it as well, and then it will grow in that manner. So consider that. All right, thank you, Walter Skywriter, for $5, right, or €5 actually. And Danielle he's gave me 20 SGDs. This Bancor is update. Okay, it's about stacking rewards for providing liquidity to the network. The community will be able to vote on the inflationary rate, which will be set to 0 by default. Okay, and it will be a DAO user-owned exchange. Okay, well, I mean, you know what? I think that's great that they're doing that. I might not agree with what they're doing, but I think what they're doing is great, and then they should try it and allow others to use it if they feel that is some sort of tool that works for them. I might disagree with that tool, but I'm not going to tell people not to use it, because you know what, everybody should decide for themselves what the tool works for them. All right, next question.
Next question we have, let's see. This is from Alex Crypto, and says, last time you said in the next bull run you would convert your Bitcoin to coin that represents gold value. Why you don't convert it to stable coins instead?
Well, because that's just stablecoins is just another currency, a fiat currency, and if the fiat currencies disappear, right, because they will eventually disappear or lose value rapidly, then I would lose value rapidly, even in the stablecoin. So that's just the way it is, right? So because I don't want to lose money and lose value rapidly, I will not go to a stablecoin. That's just how I feel. I might be wrong, right? But history has shown that the dollar has gone only down, right? If you see something else that's happening, right, then I think you should use the stable coins. But if not, right, this is what I'm doing. I'm going on gold. I'm going for the gold, and my only problem is, right, I have to deal with third counterparty risk, right? But I know the larger risk is in the dollar and dollar or fiat currencies, basically. So I'd rather not stick in that. I think there's a larger risk there, so I'd rather not take that larger risk. All right, next question.
Next question. Did you answer all the super chats, right?
Yes, I did. I believe so.
Excellent. Okay, let's see. This is from Not So Sore. And ask, thoughts on the bear and the bull tokens leveraged position X3 on Binance?
Sorry, that's a little complicated.
Yeah, that's a little complicated. I didn't understand it too.
That's a little complicated question. I'm looking for something that's in
more simple, right?
Simple and Bitcoin related,
Okay.
mostly.
Okay, I'll
Right,
see you in the next video though.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this is from Summer Lily. It says, hello Davinci, can you explain in simple words the concept of private keys? Or maybe a tutorial with examples?
Oh, private keys. Well, it's
And
really
the difference
simple.
between public and private keys too.
what does a key do, right? Well, it opens a door, right? You use the key to open a door is what we generally do, or to start an engine on the car or something like that. We do something with a key. When it comes to cryptocurrencies, what you're doing with a key, you're not opening a door. You're actually signing. You're putting a signature on the money that you have, and then you're transferring that money to somebody else with your signature of your key. With that key, right, it's effectively like a door to all your money. If somebody transfers money to anything that's accessible by your key, you can open that door to that money to transfer it to somebody else using your signature. And that's how the concept of key works. It's a great question. Thank you for asking. I hope I answered it well for you. If not, please ask again, right? Don't be afraid.
Okay, you want a really simple question?
Yeah.
Is BSB the real Bitcoin? Guess what? No.
I guess I don't have to answer that one. Yeah, so if you head over to bitcoin.com, that's not also Bitcoin. So let you know, anybody watching this, learning about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not Bitcoin Cash as well. Just a different implementation of Bitcoin, and it's a separate chain, it's a separate currency, just like the euro is a separate currency from the dollar, right? And it has a separate value as well. So keep that in mind. Same with BSV. All right, next question.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this is from Nigel Fitzjohn. Says, why is USA having so much to say over crypto when many states won't let you buy?
Why does what USA?
Yeah, USA.
USA. Okay.
Sorry. It's my Latin American instinct.
Okay.
We call it like that.
Why does the United States prevent you from buying cryptocurrencies? Or is that the question? Sorry.
Yes. No. What is the USA having saying so much about crypto when most states won't let you buy?
When most states, okay, why is it? Sorry, I missed the part where you said why is it?
Okay.
Why
Sorry. Why is the USA having so much to say over crypto when in many states they won't let you buy?
Well, they have much to say only because they have negative things to say for most part, right? They want to they will lose their advantage, right? Their currency gives them a large advantage of controlling other people and other nations. So of course they have lots to say about cryptocurrencies, and most of it negative. And lots of states don't want you to buy because, well, hey, you know what? You'll be destroying their means of wealth, right? And that's why New York prevents you from buying cryptocurrency as much as possible, because hey, the banks don't want you to do that. They don't want you to move out of their financial realm. I mean, we're slow with Ethereum coming with DeFi projects. They're gonna just complete collapse. I mean, there's like basically a meteorite. Ethereum is effectively a meteorite headed towards New York. It'll just destroy it, right? And they see it, this coming, and they want to prevent it as much as they can. So that's why United States is totally against. Well, not totally, but is a little bit difficult to do things financially in the United States, because they don't want people muscling on their territory. They want to control money and those billions of dollars that they have in their pockets, right? And that's just that. All right, one more question, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
One more question. This is a super chat from Sean Kelly that we forgot to answer.
Okay.
He said, hello there. Is it best to DCA BTC or ETH? Thank you.
DCA is dollar cost average, and ETC.
Yeah. Dollar cost average on Bitcoin or Ethereum? What is best?
Okay. I think both assets are going to do extremely well in the coming years. To say which one is going to do better is difficult. If I were to have a gun to my head and ask which one would be better, I'd have to say I'd do better. I'd have to say reluctantly Ethereum might outpace Bitcoin because of all the DeFi that's going into it, which allows people to lock up Ethereum, borrow Ethereum, and do all kinds of crazy things with Ethereum. And that movement and that those locking of the Ethereum could drive the price up very, very fast because there's so much use cases for Ethereum, provided through the DeFi projects that are being built on top of Ethereum at a unprecedented pace. I'm finding hard to keep up with. I mean, when I heard about flash loans last week, I was like, what? I'm like, unbelievable. And then somebody actually find a use case for it, and it's just unbelievable how fast this industry is growing. I mean, it's crazy. So yeah, I'd have to say Ethereum might outpace Bitcoin. No guarantees from management here. Just saying, right? If I'm asked, right, and I'm forced to give an answer, I'm pretty close, leaning towards Ethereum taking over Bitcoin's spot. May not be permanent, but it might not be a permanent takeover, but might do extremely well. All right, so I'm gonna answer
I never
this.
thought you were going to say something like that.
What?
I never thought you were going to say something like that.
Yeah, so dollar cost averaging into Ethereum might be a good idea. All right, so let me just finish off with a super chat from Walter Skywriter. Any advice to use BTC for business transactions without converting to fiat? Oh boy, that's a big one. Best I can say is that, you know what, I have to do another video for that one because that's a huge topic because there's so many general. That was so general, and yeah. Thank you for the question and thank you for the super chat. It will remind me and myself to do a video on how a business can operate with Bitcoin only, basically. And is it possible? Yes, it is. You just need to plan properly. Yeah. There was one more super chat here for $10 from Richie C, but I'm not going to answer any more super chats, so I'm going to close this session off.
I save it anyways, don't worry.
Is Elon Musk Satoshi Nakamoto? No. Study computer science and economics. Okay, yeah, you're talking about.
It's a cool theory.
Yeah, it's a cool theory. Probably not, because he was too busy on other projects. So it's highly doubtful that he was able to do that, work on this project as well. Is it possible? Sure, anything's possible, but no, it's possible that I'm Satoshi, right? But with that said, thank you all for watching this video, right? We really appreciate being here for you guys and teaching you all how Bitcoin works and how these cryptocurrencies work. Not just because the money involved, and I want people to do well with this. But also the fact that, this is a great community and great people here and get to know each other and help each other grow and become personally better in our lives. So
Davinci,
thank you.
Yeah. Don't end the video yet because I have this is kind of a present. It's not a present, but it's something that you forgot that existed.
What's this?
It's for your setup.
Oh my god. Oh yes. This is me and Inti at the Star Wars in what's it called, Disney, right? And that was funny. I totally forgot about that. Thank you, Inti.
No problem.
All right, guys. Well, thank you again for watching this video, and yeah, I appreciate everybody's input and questions and so forth. So, thanks again, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.
Goodbye.
Bye.